So what I want to start with is there were some things, there was let's see, Jared James was Monday, right?
Yeah.
And I'll get to that because there were some things that he said, hey, I've got a bunch of slides. So I went through and kind of captured the slides that I like. So we'll talk about that towards the end. But one of the things I always wanted to talk about today, and it seems like I was with Vanessa yesterday, and then Sarah Umstead, we were talking about the new year coming in, but actually with with Vanessa, we were doing the whiteboard here, and as I know the people on this Zoom call, we've all done that pretty much together, but it does bring back some like real basic thoughts when we do that whiteboard thing. And one of the things that I wanted to throw out to you guys, and I wanted you to think about, we can talk a little bit about too, but going into, because what do we got, 6 weeks left, basically?
Yeah.
Right? So whatever's gonna happen is usually gonna happen. I mean, whatever you've got booked to go this year is gonna happen, but going into the first quarter of next year, one of the things you want is you want to be set up enough to where you feel like you've got some momentum. And I want you to think about what would be your first quarter that you could look at and say, okay, I'm happy with that. That's what I wanted to do. I want you to back into that. What would be the results that I would feel like, okay, I'm good with that. Not that I blew it out or not that I came under, but I'm good with that. That's where you kind of want to be when you're setting this up is because you can back into that. So the other thing that happens when you go through these exercises is going into the new year, what do you think your number one obstacle is of getting to that? Whatever that magic place is that I'd be pretty happy with that first quarter. What's that one obstacle that you had that needs to be knocked down? And probably it'll be involved with getting out of your comfort zone, I would think. But I want you to think about that. Or have you thought about that? Like, if we open that up, would somebody even have an answer to that? What you think your one obstacle is? The one thing that if I could just knock that down, I could push everything into the right column.
Battling myself.
What was that, Jamie?
Battling my own mind.
Good. Nothing is as bad. Nothing is as bad as your mind makes it out to be.
Yeah.
That's number one. Yeah.
So always remember that. Nothing is as bad as your mind makes it out to be, because once you start stepping into it, you start getting more comfortable with what you're doing and realize that that actually can happen because you're in it. Anybody else thought about does something come to mind? Casey, anything come to mind for you, like one obstacle? If I could just knock that down, I've got some free road ahead of me.
Just planning ahead.
Planning.
Just having my plan in place. What I know I need to do.
Let's talk about that for a minute, because I think that's a big one. Because it's one of those things where planning is not fun. We've talked about that, and I know that's why I like what you and Sean are doing. You're pushing each other, making each other accountable, which pushes a plan. So we're getting to database there, right? That's where when you start thinking of planning, what do you do with all those people that you have? One of the things I ran across the other day was, I forget why I found this, but I think it was Keeping Current Matters, I'm not sure. Some examples on how to organize your relationships in your database. It's kind of important to think about that. So here's a little quick breakdown. If you're thinking about tackling that beast. Okay, when we've talked about this, your closest, and actually we talked about like who are your avid fans, pick your top 25. But your closest, that's your immediate family, great friends, those are the people that are your biggest cheerleaders. That's one section. You want to section that out. Then you got your close people, that's your extended family and good friends. Number 3 is your clients, past, present. And don't forget to leave out your nightmare clients and nightmare friends, leave those off the list. That'll be a good thing to thank yourself for later. Professional. That's another column here. Acquaintances, lawyers, doctors, dentists, teachers, people that you work out with, whatever that is. Community, neighbors, tennis partners, PTA members, business owners, people you run into in your community. Second to last one is open house attendees. How do you group those? How do you stay in contact with those people? How do you bring them in to become part of what you do monthly to touch people? And then your last one is what you're paying for, your leads, you know, your social media, your ads, your referrals. That's breaking down something that instead of just letting it run as a glob, you know, just that's my database. And you don't use it because it's too much. You can't, but if you section it out and it's not fun, so I'm going to tell you that, get a drink, pour it with ice, maybe cut it with something, and then start your database breakdown. Because it's not a fun deal, but once you do it, you'll be really happy. Because you'll feel different once you break these people down. But I highly suggest, and we've talked about this before, take your top 25 people and put them into a deal. The other thing I was going to say, and I was going over this yesterday with Vanessa, and she said, well, what is there anything I should do when I'm doing this with breaking this down? There's a thing in Ninja. I think I've shared it with you guys before, but it's a simple thing, and it's a reason to contact your people coming into this year. The easy contact is, hey, Kate, you know what? I haven't talked to you in a while. I'm getting really organized this year. I want to make sure I've got down all the facts, the fun facts about you, because I'm putting it in my file. Well, this has just to make sure that you've got their kids' names, their birthdays, their wedding anniversary, their favorite restaurants, favorite alcoholic drink, favorite sports teams, whatever they like to do. That's on this sheet here. Take that sheet and just use it to call, make calls and use that and fill up your CRM with that, because those will be the touchstones you'll appreciate yourself for as the year rolls on, because you'll be making those touches at the right time with those people. So anybody who wants that fun fact sheet, that's a good thing to have.
It's also a good way, sorry to interrupt, but it's
Yeah.
also a good way to make a warm call instead of a cold call to your previous or past clients,
Exactly.
right? It
Warms
just,
it up.
hey, you know what, we're updating my system here. I just wanted to make sure I got this information correct. We always like to get everybody well informed and give out little things and so on and so forth.
And you might have, and you got a good point, Jose. You might have a lot of this, but then you don't have the couple things.
Yeah.
I forgot what your favorite sports team is, right? Do you like to drink Tito's?
Yeah.
You know,
Those things will make it warm, because you're not going to call them and say, hey, what's your house worth? Hey, you want me to give you an appraisal? You know, it's just, hey, we're just updating our systems, and I want to make sure I got all the fun facts about you guys, right?
Yes.
It's a warm call. Real quick before you jump on the next one, Neil brought up in his mind, his
focus and
consistency. His block is focus and consistency. Let's
And
talk about that a little bit, right?
Yeah, and I like that, Neil, because what did Jared James say about consistency when we went there Monday? Because Neil, you were there. You remember what he said?
Yeah, it's undefeated.
It's undefeated. Consistency is undefeated. If you're consistent, it's undefeated. You can't lose if you stay consistent, because you will figure out the solution because you're staying consistent with it.
I love that.
Consistency is undefeated, and that consistency will help you focus. Talking about focus, when we talk about breaking these things down into these little columns here of what you do with your database, the magic sauce is to block out 10 minutes a day and play with it. You know, what have I done with these people? Just 10 minutes a day, not a day, not 2 hours, 10 minutes a day. Look at this once you break it out and use it. Use your database and say, okay, 10 minutes a day. Am I making contact with, oh, I got it, and then you've done it. You'll feel different doing that, because you'll reward yourself by the fact, hey, I'm staying on top of this. I didn't do this and put it in a drawer and then got it out November 9th or 10th, and it's a new year. This way you work with your database and you keep it alive and you keep it real, and you add people to it. You might take people out. You might create somebody in a different section because they've moved in. Now they're a past client. And then they've got to be, you know, in the, you know, your newsletter, whatever you're going to do, but keeping that day to day. 10 minutes. Not 2 hours, just 10 minutes. Touch it, feel it, make it work.
I mean, the challenging part, right? You do the hard work to get you prepped, but
Yeah,
when you don't follow through, all that hard
It's
work
like you
goes
didn't
to
do it.
nothing. You didn't do anything. It's like, you know, going to the gym and working out, but if you don't watch what you eat, you're not gonna get the results you want. So it's same concept, put in the work, but actually, you know, follow through. Follow through and make it a habit, make it a consistent habit so that you know, as they say, consistency is undefeated, man. I love that. I'm gonna start using that. I never heard that. I love it. It's true.
Jared gets paid a lot of money to come up with that stuff.
Man, I wish I was that smart.
Kind of off track, but how was that Monday? Was he there live or was he?
No, he was there.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah, he was there. And he probably, what they should have done is have him for the
Be the
2
last.
hours. Well, they should just have him for 2 hours. They didn't need to, like, they didn't use Katie, she should have gone first. I felt sorry for her having to follow somebody like Jared James, but, I would never say, oh, I'll follow Jared James. No, I think I'll go first. The other thing to think about, so we're talking about obstacles. Because one of the things I want to talk about, Neil, is you talk about focus. What is that one thing? What's that one thing, if I focus on this going forward, it could change things a bit. I want you guys to think about that. What's that one thing that if you focused on that, and it might be something that you look and review at the year and think, gosh, if I would have done that more, or I didn't do that this year, but if I did that, again, this is probably going to be one of those things that Jose talked about in the last call. It might be out of your comfort zone. But that one thing, what I want to do today is break this down to not come into 25 things, but one obstacle and one focus to roll and feel different going into the new quarter. And Neil, you bringing up focus and consistency. Focus is such a big deal because what you focus on, you usually get done. What you write down, you usually get accomplished. So if you think about that, does anybody have one thing that they want to focus on that maybe they didn't do last year that you want to step into this year?
Don't be shy, guys. Let's go. Let's hear
Yeah,
it.
Joe.
So all I've really had are new home buyers, young new home buyers at this point. So I need listings. So I really need to focus more on older folks. So
On what I missed, what was it, Joe?
older folks. So
Older
people
folks.
50 and up, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
And so nursing homes is what I've been trying to look into as far as trying to get a hold of the right people there. And then also talk to my sphere and my CRM. I just had a phone call, good conversation with a lady who got one of my postcards yesterday. And she called not to list her house or anything, but she just wanted to chat about cannolis and being a Dago, and wanted to know if I knew about her family or knew anybody in her family, that kind of thing. So she had lived on the hill for a while. So we had a really good conversation. It wasn't anything about really real estate, but then at the end of the conversation, she said that she would keep my card and give it to one of her family members. So you just never know. So I need to focus more on those folks, I think.
focus more on the seniors.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah. Neil, what are you thinking? Going in? And if, go ahead.
The videos.
Yeah, and at that point, it got brought up at Jared James, but I wanted to go back in because that was in one of the slides that he has. What content should you be creating? So he threw out some things here. Yeah.
Can I, before I forget, 'cause I go real fast and then all of a sudden I
And
forget
you lost it.
and then I lose it. Neil, a suggestion. I assume you enjoy cooking, right? Because you own restaurants.
Mhm.
For your videos, this is one thing that really grasped my attention from Adam Briggs. He did a shoot a while back on a listing that he had. It was a $1.6 million listing. And he did the video and he did all that, but he did the video also showing like where he's cooking on the big gas stove, whatever. Why I'm saying that is to say this, you know, there's two things in life, right? That you have to have human interaction. That's making babies and selling houses. But there's a third one, food. Food doesn't make itself, right? So a video could be where you're just for like a minute or whatever, hey, you know, you speed it up, we can teach you how to speed up the process, but then always say, hey, look, there's always three things you always need in life, you know, that you're gonna need in life where you have to have human interaction. That's selling real estate, you know, buying, you know, or buying a house, or selling a house and cooking, right? You can maybe almost make it a brand for you, right? Because if you enjoy it, make it your brand, kind of like what Sean did with the advocacy that he has with the animal shelters, right? He's known as the dog adopter, right? Like he's got in the brand. Joe with Joe's Homes and all this thing, he's building a brand, right? Kylie with her outfits of the day, you know, more Fashion Nova stuff. She's building a brand. Kay, when she did the recipes and getting in there, build a brand. People will attach and look at stuff like that when it's unconsciously like, oh, he's not talking. It's not a business thing. It's just, and then you play, hey, there's always, and then you plug, hey, there's only two things, you know, in life, and you need human interaction, and that's real estate and making food. You know,
Well,
just a thought, right? It just came to my head. I'm not gonna charge you for it. That's free.
I was thinking maybe cooking and making babies.
Hey, you'll definitely go viral, my friend.
At the same time.
Yeah. Oh, that's a
That'd be
challenge.
tough.
All right, sorry, go ahead, Brent. I just didn't want to lose it, but I think it's a cool, unique concept. Give
I
a
think it is
try,
too,
man.
yeah.
You don't- Yeah, you know, it won't hurt if you try it, man. Just try it. That's the best part about this stuff.
I've thought about it too before, but I haven't really developed a concept for it, but maybe I'll start giving that some more thought. I think that's a good idea.
Well, Jared, on Monday, you know, he's very, very big on the whole video thing. And one of the things he brings up is that if you have the opportunity to make a first impression and get introduced to people and they get to know you, they don't even have to meet you. You know, that's the cool thing about, you know, when you're posting, you want to have something either they can use or something that entertains. Otherwise, you're just wallpaper. So
You put the recipe on your thing, like it'd be cool, man.
yeah, that'd be good. But here's the thing, Jared brought up a really good point about the fact that a lot of people, when he comes to like the St. Louis thing and he's walking around, they feel like they know, hey, Jared, what's up? Well, he doesn't know them at all. But because he does all the stuff that he does, you feel like you know him. That's what you want to be in the market, because they get to know you, see you, like you, they're using your stuff or you're entertaining them. It makes it so much easier for you just to all of a sudden be the guy that they think or the girl that they think, I'm gonna call them about my house. I know them. I like them. I trust them. They're good people. And they might not even know you, but they like your stuff. And that's the reason why you do it, is it keeps you relevant in people's minds. And it creates whatever that intangible thing is when people think about doing something like selling their house. And it's usually 80-20, and that's what Jared talks about, 80-20, 80 entertaining, being that person, 20 something right about the market. So one of the things that he said, just for people thinking, what am I gonna do? Because you have that 80% that's you, 20% you want content you want to create, latest market stats, how our market is different than 2008, the difference between investing in stocks and real estate. Are you one of the 40 million Americans that will move this year? Here are the top 3 reasons people move. And by the way, he does have a thing here that would be a good social media post. Homeowners' top reasons to sell. So go real quick through it. 31% what different features and amenities. 29% home no longer meets their needs. 26% need a home office to work from. 23% want to be closer to loved ones. 22% want a smaller house that has less work. 17% no longer need to live near their office. What you could do with this here is you could say, which one are you?
Yeah.
Just
Oh, I
have-
love that.
create engagement. Engagement, like which one, how do you fit into this? You know, and it's kind of like asking somebody what's their favorite cheeseburger, but this is along the lines of that. Just so going through, like, because talking about videos, what content you should create, seller posts. He's got all the different things that you can go through sellers posts. What content you should be creating for buyer posts. And, you know, he's got like 3 tips for finding the home of your dreams, all those kind of things. You can just have answers for those things and go through them. Community posts, 5 best restaurants to check out in your area, 3 best restaurants, the best kept secrets. What to do in your area, best hiking trails, interview local business owners. I was talking to Vanessa yesterday about this local business owner thing, because she's in the Bosnian community. And she said, you know, because she was talking about, she was gonna be able to put her information there because they like to promote each other, like their business cards and whatever. Here's how easy that is in going into your favorite restaurant. Hey, Jose, this is my favorite restaurant. I just want just a quick thing. I'm a real estate agent, and so I want to just get with people that I like. Tell me a little bit about your restaurant. How'd you get into it? What's your favorite menu item? Boom, post it. Do it again. The great thing about TikTok is it's made it to where nobody cares if it's fancy. They're just watching this stuff. It used to be, well, you gotta set up your phone like this, and you gotta make the landscape. No, that's all gone. It's all vertical. Just go do it and post it. And so, same thing I was doing with Sarah Umstead, because she said she wanted to do like her favorite, because she really likes restaurants. I said, don't wait around for people to show up with likes and stuff. Just do it. Post it. Go to the next one, and you'll become that person. I think it's a great thing to do too. If you go to, you know, the top things in your area, restaurants, hiking trails, whatever, because that makes you the host of your community. And that's a good thing, right? Because you want to be that, because you're going to sell houses. Okay, I like that, Neil. Focus, videos is a game changer. And the thing that's good about getting started in that, it also forces you into consistency of it. Like Joe, Sean, I'm gonna get Kay really consistent with it because she's good at it. But once you start it, make it to something they're looking for. Because once they start liking it, as Kay's been told, they like her videos, right? You've had friends at parties say, hey, I'm looking for your next video. Put it out there.
Hey, Neil, you're little, I'm still thinking, I mean, you're at your, what's the pound, what do they call it?
Hashtag.
Your hashtag, the cooking agent or the cooking realtor, right? Come up with a hashtag, man. I like that.
I was thinking about cooking in listing in homes that I have listed. Like
That's a great idea too.
visiting kitchens, you know.
Yeah.
That way you
Yeah.
can kind of showcase the house and put on something that's interesting too.
Absolutely.
That's perfect.
I love that concept.
Yeah.
Lynn?
Hey, okay, if you remember a couple years ago, Adam Briggs had got this listing that had been on the market forever. And so he listed, it was in Chesterfield, and he has the camera going in the kitchen and he's cooking on that Wolf stove. That guy got so many likes, and the house sold right away too. But I'm just saying that's an awesome idea, Neil. He started off with a skillet over the top of the fire and he's throwing vegetables and stuff in there.
Yeah, we shared that story about 10, 15 minutes ago, Lynn. That's
Oh,
awesome.
you did?
I'm glad. Yeah, it's
Oh,
okay.
okay.
No, I'm glad you brought it up again because that's how, honestly, that's how it works, right? It's in your mind and you know,
It stays there.
it stays there. So it's great.
Kay, what do you think of one
Well,
focus?
I was thinking,
Rolling in.
actually, before I say my part, I would like to offer my assistance to Neil, that if you need someone to eat all these wonderful things you're gonna be cooking, I will be happy to be there, you know, showing that there's a good.
Whoa, wait a minute. No.
She
I've
asked
never had the
first,
opportunity to taste Neil's cooking and I want to be the first one, damn it.
Good idea, right?
get in
It
line,
was my
everybody.
idea, it was my concept. Let's get treated for a meal for the the information, the marketing tactics. No, I'm just kidding.
I guess we can invite him.
You guys, you're gonna have to fight Jan for that #1 spot.
Yeah, that too. That's true, buddy.
Mm,
Oh, I like that. Look at what Kylie just said. Hashtag meals with Neil.
Neil.
Meals
Love
with Neil. Hashtag your realtor.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's great, Kylie.
Kylie, this is why you got a marketing degree, man.
Yeah.
So listen, I know you were gonna ask Kay this, but I want to just sidebar real quick, and I want to get back to that, get out of your comfort zone. We talked about it last week. Brent brought it up again. We've asked a couple of people here what they thought about, what is their obstacle in the comfort zone. But truthfully, man, flat out, I want to know, after that conversation, did you guys, really put that in perspective? And did you guys jot down, like Neil said, hey man, confidence and consistency or accountability, whatever. And did you guys actually track and say, hey, okay, I know this is my hurdle. My hurdle is this. And have you guys since then, right, really thought that through and said, okay, I need to figure out how to change this. What do I got? I need to do it. If it's videos, if it's this, if it's paper, I don't know. But did you guys put something in play? Because again, it's one thing to understand that it needs to be done, but did you guys react? And it's okay to be truthful, guys, because guess what? This is why we have these meetings. It might have sounded like, oh yeah, that makes total sense, but then, all right,
That's funny.
tomorrow I got to go and do this, but
Cheers.
I really want to make sure you guys understand the importance of making sure getting out of your comfort zone to be confident enough to do whatever it is and getting it done, because your weakest link is what holds you back in a company, right? If you're a business owner, so again, you're an agent of many hats, but you're also a business owner. Have you looked at your weakest link in your business? Okay, I need to identify my weakest link, and I need to really. Brent's over here having a chair issue, but have you really put that in thought? So, man, I need to correct my weakest link. What is that? Like, have you found it? Do you really confidently say, hey, I got to change this to better my business, to strengthen my business, to grow my business?
You like that show. You are the weakest link. And get rid of those things.
Yeah. Please, I want to hear from you guys. Yes, Sean.
Yeah, my biggest thing has been kind of like Neil, is consistency. And I feel like last year and the first part of this year, I went gung-ho, and somewhere down in the middle of the year, I lost my way. And I feel like I'm just playing catch up, and it's really getting myself refocused like I was when I first started in real estate. Because I keep seeing all these great things, and I'm like, oh, I need to be doing that. And it's really weeding, you don't have to do everything. You just have to do a couple things good.
Right.
And that's what I'm, get back to the dog videos and be really consistent with that. And really kind of really promoting my brand and being better about social media. And I'm not sure, there's been lots of, not personal issues, but just I got in my own way, really.
Sure.
I got my own
No,
head,
and
I got my own way. And I was just like, when I first got in, I was like really gung-ho, and then I just kind of, I don't know, I got complacent, I guess. Is what it is.
It was the excitement of getting into a new industry, Neil or Sean, right? It was exciting. You were like, yeah, I want to do it.
Yeah.
But now being seasoned as well as being in the agency and being in the industry, you tend, and this happens to everybody, guys, we tend to kind of plateau because, okay, the excitement kind of is over with. Now I'm really into this thing, and I understand that the constant movements of our industry, that you put all this other stuff ahead because you think that your business is still, running on its own, which it's really not, right? It's not.
Right.
The other way to look at it is, look, I keep telling you guys are business owners. If you guys owned another company, right, that actually had salaries, that had employees, had all this, and you guys were CEOs or working for a company, right? would your work ethic in a performance review, can you rate yourself at a 1 out of 5 stars? Would you be a 5-star employee, right? Because you're doing everything you're supposed to do day in and day out. Have you sat down and analyzed, right, every quarter, kind of where your performance is at? And your performance is not just going out there and putting contracts in play, which is a primary one, I will tell you, but it's also, hey, am I getting my marketing line the way I need to do? Is my brand getting out there the way it's supposed to? Is my relationship with my vendors, how am I doing? Third quarter, man, I was hit or miss with some people because I was, sending phone calls or sending leads to potential lenders or whatever. You guys own a business. You guys own a company, guys. I want you to understand, you guys are business owners. There's nobody above you now, right? You guys are the whole thing. And when you go into this type of industry, it is a challenge because, again, you're depending on yourself to wear these hats and still succeed and build your business. But again, your weakest link is the one that's going to hold you back, right? The one part where you're like, man, I just can't do that. I don't feel comfortable, or I don't know. Oh, maybe I'm just only 2 years in the business. I don't feel confident to talk like I know I'm an expert. Those are the things that you have to look into deeply, literally month by month, week by week, day by day. Why? Because every day you want to make sure your system is lined up. And the way to look at it, guys, is if I had an emergency, right? I should be able to have everything that I have going on ready to be accessible and say, here you go, Brent, I'll be gone. I got to be gone for 4 days, but everything you need to know is there. And they can pick it up and just take off with all that stuff ready to go. You see what I'm saying about how you need to make sure sustainability of your business is having a foundation that's very strong. Very strong. My confidence level, I told you guys before, my biggest issue in doing this is public speaking and talking and doing these types of things, because I felt like, man, you want to learn from me? I don't know. But then I put things in perspective, right? Look, I know what I know what I'm doing. I've done this for now some time, but I understand that the market is continuing to ever change. So I adapt myself to that. And so has been my meeting, so has been my communication, so has been everything. Because that's my job. Does that make sense, guys? I really want you guys to switch that mindset, turn that key. You guys are a business. You guys have employees. Yeah, it's all, you guys have 32 different personalities because you got different employees, man. You know what I'm saying? You guys got to look at it like that. Yeah, right. I'm not too off. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Brent. Sorry, I just wanted to bring that up.
But I think, Sean, I really appreciate you bringing that to the forefront, because it's the easiest thing to happen. The thing that, and the reason why I like these type of platforms to be able to share back and forth is because in sales, and we're all in sales regardless of what business we're in, it's easy to get distracted and it's easy to fall into, because I just, while you were talking there, Sean, I pulled up when we did the whiteboard and all the different things. So one of the things that I think is a very, very good exercise, maybe one of the best exercises, is take a sheet of paper, turn it sideways, in one column write old-fashioned, middle column automated, third column social empire. What you want to do is take old-fashioned. What are the old-fashioned things that I can do in my business? And I need to make sure that I'm doing those things daily. That could be a written note, that could be the pop, it could be a lot of different things, but you're making contacts the old-fashioned way. Automated, that could be an EDDM, your every door direct marketing. That could be your newsletter. That could be what you set up in your CRM, that those touches happen because you have them set up to happen because they're automated. Your third thing is your social empire. Your social empire is really maybe one of the most important things anymore. That's what makes you, you, and that's your brand. What are you doing in that column to create your brand so that you set yourself apart from everybody else? Have that. And that exercise, if you can fill out 2 or 3 things, 3 or 4 things in old fashioned, 3 or 4 things in automated, 3 or 4 things in social empire, you will start realizing and feeling like you are in your own business, because you're going to be crossing into those different columns every day. The thing you want is to have all 3 of those columns with something in them. Because that's what keeps you on track. That's what keeps you from getting non-distracted. Because if you don't have something like that, a playbook, it's so easy just to get into, oh my God, I've got 5 listings. And I'm gonna run those and I'm gonna do that. And then this world over here collapses. And so what you have to do is you have to start that back up. That's a pain in the ass. Because to start something back up that you had built up means that you're really starting from the bottom again to build it back up. You don't want to do that. It's like one of those things, I think Brian Buffini had it where he was on stage and he said, you know, it's like those old, big, gigantic concrete, there was one of my, not a cylinder, but a big concrete thing. It takes a long time to push that thing, like in the old caveman days, you push that thing, you push it. Once you get it going, it just takes a finger to keep it going. That's what you want to have happen with these systems that you put in place, these processes that you put in place. Keep that thing going once you get it put, but what if you stop and that big concrete thing slows down into a stop, you gotta push that thing back to get it to where it was, and that's a lot. So all of that to be said is that each one of you are doing good things. And you've got things that you're really good at. My point on the question is what's that one obstacle or what's that one thing you need to focus on to bring yourself into the new quarter? That, whatever that is, that one thing you focus on will probably be something that you get done if you make a commitment to it. And that could be the game changer to get your first quarter going the way you want to. Recognizing that obstacle, because it's not always visible. You have to kind of think about it. And then what do I need to focus on? The one thing I need to focus on that'll change, you know, it could be, you know, some of these things, if you read the, what's his name? Darren Hardy, is that his name? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he wrote that book about incremental things. Like it could be that you decide that you're going to wake up 45 minutes earlier. And that one thing can change the way that you plan your day. Because you have time to work out or to read or to plan or whatever. It doesn't have to be something that is monumentally overwhelming. It could be something as simple as I'm going to wake up an hour earlier starting January 1st for the first quarter, and I'm going to use that time to get myself rolling. Those are things that just think about what is it that's blocking me and what can I focus on to make the change? Because this is the time of year you want to do that. It's got to be planned to make it happen.
That's so true.
Let's see, who else was I know
Julia hasn't spoken, Joe did, Neil did, Kylie's, and Katie, did you already address that?
Yes.
She kind of did, right? Julia, how about you?
I guess I plan on working more with sellers next year, focusing more on reaching out via, calling for sale by owners or expired listings. I definitely want to get more listings.
Would you say that's a blocking point for you right now, confidence wise?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've had that on my agenda for weeks and I haven't done it yet because for some reason, cold calling is a real problem for me, I guess. It's just difficult to do it. Even though I know what to say and I know what I'm doing, it's just picking up the phone that's difficult.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Julie, you brought up a very good point, especially when you're saying you want to start calling for sale by owners. This is a perfect time. The market, the way it's transitioned, and you know what, instead of making them a cold call or feel like it's a cold call, it's not a cold call. You know what you want to do? You want to consider that a warm call. How do you consider it a warm call? It's like this. You contact the for sale by owner. You said, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, how are you? My name is Julia. I work with Remax Gold. I'd like, because the way the market is and the way the conditions of our inventory is, I'd like to do a walkthrough of your property. Would you be okay that if I walk through your property and take a look from my personal knowledge, and if I have a buyer that might be interested, would you be okay and consider wanting to maybe do a deal with me? Because again, inventory's low, but again, it's also a lot harder to sell properties right now, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. You know, I just want to be able to see what our actual complete inventory is out there right now, that I'm really just kind of wanting to work, you know, collaborate with you, if you will, to see if you allow me to do that. And I guarantee you, they're gonna think about that, right? Because you're not saying, hey, I want to sell your house. No, you're going in and saying, look, do you mind if I walk your property? I have buyers that are still interested in buying around here, but again, I just wanted to make the call to you personally first. If it's okay, if I can take a tour, maybe ask you a few questions, and then I know I can put that on my sheet list if you're okay to work with an agent and bring in you a buyer. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Because that becomes more of a warm call versus, man, I'm calling Mr. Smith right off the cuff, and I'm just gonna, what am I gonna ask them? Hey, are you interested in selling? Can I look at your property? Can I be your agent?
right.
They get that call. They get that call every single time, every day. How do you stand out? Look, I'm not here to ask for your listing. What I'm here is, are you willing to work with me if I bring you a buyer? And 9 times out of 10, when that deal happens, and you truthfully, you know, it comes up that you end up having a buyer in that area. Not saying you do or you don't. Oh, hey, Julia, what's up? Oh, you got a buyer? Yeah, bring him in. It's the first step of everything. You just want to get in the door.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And you know, Julia does a great job in promoting open houses. You know, she does the video and she sets it up. One of the things I just wanted, because this is a new year, so meeting with Vanessa yesterday, she said, well, you know, if I do open houses, like I want to create leads. I said, okay, there is a way to do that. So I want to walk past everybody on this, because an open house, if you go into most open houses, I walked past one, this was in my neighborhood the other day, and I go and I can't even find the agent. And she was all the way back in the kitchen, and she was just kind of like thumbing through some things. Like, what in the hell are you doing? She didn't even need to be there because she wasn't talking to anybody, she wasn't doing anything. Okay, so.
Jesus.
So, but I mean, that's just a total waste of time.
Waste of time.
Total waste of time. And it's a Saturday and she's wasting her time. And so anyway. Here's what I think that we've got to do with open houses is play to the market of the psychology of what's happening. I go put a sign in your neighborhood. What are you thinking about that? What in your neighborhood, okay? What do you think when I put a sign in next to your house?
That's what I did.
Well, yeah, right. But what, I mean, I've invaded your turf, haven't I? It's your neighborhood. What the hell's he doing? What are they doing? What are they selling their house for? Wonder why they're moving.
Nosy neighbors, baby.
All right, so everybody is thinking that when I put that in the ground, all those people are a little bit interested in what the hell's going on there, right? Okay, so let's play to that. Get the flyer, and then the flyer also is an invitation. It's an invitation. So I'm going to knock at your door, Kay. I'm Brent, Cassity. I just put that sign there. You probably saw that. Well, the Smiths are moving. I'm having an open house on Saturday, but I want to do something a little bit different, because this could be a great opportunity for you, because it's such a great neighborhood. I'm sure you got friends that want to move into this neighborhood. This would be a great time to pick your neighbor, right? What I want to do is I want to have an open house just for the neighbors. The real open house is from 1 to 3, but I'm going to have an open house from 11 to 1 just for the neighbors. So I wanted to give you an invitation, and I'll give you a chance. We got the mortgage people coming. They're going to have sandwiches and whatever. Welcome to come 11 to 1. Oh, and by the way, they're selling their house for $435,000. What do you think? What's my house worth? I wonder if they redid the kitchen like we redid the kitchen. I wonder if they have a deck on the back of their house like we put on it. That landscaping they got there, it's not like ours.
You're opening a lot of questions.
Okay.
That's awesome.
So they'll probably say, huh, 435. I wonder well, you know what? Believe it or not, that's the information I have. I'd love to sit down with you, just show you what's happened in this neighborhood, what's sold, what it's sold for, how you fit into the market. Wouldn't be a good time to do that? Okay, if I do that with 25 houses, because all of them want to talk to me, this is the one time psychologically that they want to talk to me. I'm not a cold call. I'm the guy that put the sign in the yard. They're thinking, I want to know more about this. Why not take advantage of it? Go to all 25, however many you want to go to, with an invitation, invite them to your party, tell them it's just for them, and then, oh, by the way, they're listing the house for 435.
I want to take that a step further. I want to actually, because that is, I mean, you can't, this information is worth millions, man. Who wants to take that challenge? If you got some, if you have a listing or if you don't, we can find you a house to do an open house in a neighborhood. Who wants to take that challenge and test that out? Who's willing to do it? Don't be scared, guys. Remember, get out of your comfort zone, right? Who's willing? And I'm hoping everybody's like, hell yeah, I'm gonna give it a try. But who's willing to do it? That can report back to us, say, here's how it went, here's how I, da. Who's willing?
I will.
Jamie, Jen.
I got,
Brent?
like I said, I'm battling myself, so I'm gonna push myself to do better.
Put Jamie on your books, and then you're gonna, if you can, please contact her offline and find out, you know, what timeline, and then if she doesn't have a listing, we'll talk to Brian, everybody, which five.
There's plenty of.
This is our beta tester, right? But I highly recommend all of you guys say, man, let me give it a shot. Again, this is stepping out of your comfort zone. Who's willing to take the leap, right? The leap of faith. You guys can do it, guys.
But it sure beats going into the kitchen and seeing the agent paging
Oh
through
my
whatever they're
gosh.
paging through. This actually brings database names to you, and it could be a possible listing appointment and possibly a referral. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't lead you to only 2 people showing up at your open house.
Especially now, right?
Yeah, it's back. Open houses are back into vogue. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome stuff.
Let's see, what else, guys? Oh, Kay had this deal, and Jared James, it's a very simple, and I'll email this to you guys. You can also go to Jared, just so you guys know, you can go on Facebook to Jared James and join his Facebook group. And he's got a thing for, it says files, and it's all Adobe, and you can go all the way down there and just click what you want, but this is on there.
Wow.
And it's, Kay shared this with me the other day. It's just a simple 1-pager, know your numbers, and it's got previous year listed appointments, listed, sold listings, closing percentage. And all you got to do is put your stuff in there. It all calculates for you. And Neil, you'd like that. It's like an Excel sheet.
Spreadsheet.
Yeah, spreadsheet. So I would encourage everybody to go to that Jared James because he's got a lot of different things on there that you can just click on and use. Some things might be of interest to somebody and not interest to others. So just a whole list there. Anything else?
Good stuff. And make sure we email that to everybody.
Yeah.
Or have Kristen do it. But
Right,
yeah,
thanks.
I like that, man. That's a good, also a good way to call on people that are in your database.
Soft,
Soft touch, that's a call. Any questions, guys? Brent killed it.
That's good stuff. Thank you, guys.
Okay,
Thank
all right, guys.
make it your week.
Thanks for being on, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.